Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so there's something that I noticed about a week or two ago, maybe a little bit more. It's something that really stood out to me, and I've been kicking out a lot of videos. In fact, I've got videos uploaded for at least the next week or already. And it connects to something that I noticed during the lockdowns, the very first, probably 6 months of it. I'm just going to spit it out, probably kind of giving the ending away first. So essentially what I've noticed is there is a large-scale effort to keep people away from each other. Now, if you have any level of consciousness and spiritual awakening at all, you're very aware at this point that we are definitely being divided, and this has been going on for a long time, but the efforts have amplified in the last maybe 10 years or so, especially in the last 6+ years. So we've been told by the higher ups or the billionaires that they want to lower the population. Okay, this has been openly discussed, and the amount they want to do it to is it's it's insane. They want to cut it down to, I think it's less than 25%. I think they want to lower it down to like 5 billion people, or it might have been less than that. Well, we now have over 8 billion people on the planet, so if you're going to lower it down to less than 2 billion, that's more than 2/3 of the population. One of the challenges I had in my dating relationship coaching business was about 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I was not allowed to post ads on Facebook at all. They would say nope. In fact, at one point, okay, so I got Shopify, that's my admin, that's my website company that I go through. I talked to a specialist there. I was bumped up to someone above because I complained about something over and over and over. They said, and one guy goes, I'm going to be really honest with you, this whole thing sounds really sketchy. So he bumped me up and got not a specialist, but like a higher up, like a upper management. So I discussed some things, and I showed her some emails and messages that were sent to me from Facebook, from Google, from YouTube, and someone else. I don't think it was Instagram, because Facebook owns Instagram. And the ridiculousness of the things they were saying was like, I go, this just sounds absolutely bizarre. So I'm going to show you a picture that I was told that was rejected, and let me show it to you. So this was my basically flagship image for my business. This was the number one image I'd had for years, and this is kind of like a logo almost, where people it's called branding. Like, this is when people see this image, they used to think of my business. Well, Facebook and YouTube and Google had told me repeatedly that, you're not allowed to advertise with this because this picture is sexual nudity. It's XXX rated, pornographic, naked people having sex. So take a look at this picture. Do you think this is an inappropriate picture? Do you really think that this... So here's the weird thing. I never put it in any ad. The only ads I had were line ads. I never had an ad with an image in it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have any picture. And like, it's on your website. So I got this supervisor involved, or I keep calling her supervisor. She was actually upper management. So she got a hold of Google. She had like a direct number, and she's like, what's going on here? So let me tell you, this was not like a one-time thing. This went on for over 3 years, and I mean on a weekly, daily basis. For example, Facebook would just flat out, I'd upload an ad, and then within 12 hours or less, they would take it down and say, this does not go to our standards, or it's against our policy or rules. And I would have to send them a message, say, no, it's not, blah, 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 blah. I've been through this before. And this was literally every single week. And then it would take them about 3 or 4 days to respond back, say, my bad, we're sorry, we made a mistake, and then they would let the ad run again, only for it to be taken down again in less than 12 hours. This went on for 3 years, every single week, and I'd have to reconnect with them twice a week and explain myself, and then wait 3 or 4 days. It was a big pain in the ass. So Shopify began to tell me, they said, yeah, a lot of our website owners who are dating relationship coaches are finding it really hard to advertise anywhere. They are being rejected. They are being shut down. They're not being allowed. And we were not only that, but we were basically almost being attacked like you people are bad. So then inside this Shopify admin, you have this connection to Google where every one of your products gets uploaded to this Google page. I forget what they called, but it's different than, it's not like a Google business page at all. It's completely different than that, completely separate. And what ended up happening is during this time, they went red to all my products and say, yeah, you're not allowed to show these products. So then I got a hold of the same supervisor. She called him and we did a 3-way phone call. Now get what they said. Now I'm going to lead up to other things. This isn't just about my business. So what they said was, the guy, we were talking to her, and he was not a supervisor at Google anymore. He was just a low level, whatever, I don't know what you call him, entry level person, I don't know. And he was saying, oh, well, Google and YouTube passed a new rule that you're not allowed to, how do they say it? You're not allowed to download any digital products online anymore.
I enjoy it much better when it's
So the lady at Shopify said, I've been here with Shopify for more than 10 years, and Shopify became famous because we give a free app to download digital products. She goes, I've never heard anything about this. What are you talking about? So she said that Shopify made its name, became famous because it was all, hey, if you join our program, we're going to give you a free app to download. Because normally you have to pay for it, or you have to pay a web designer to build this thing that will do a download, and you get the payments, and it's way more expensive than just going with Shopify. So he said, well, we passed a new rule 9 months ago, blah, blah, blah. And I go, when you say nobody, you mean just dating relationship coaches? He goes, no, anybody. I go, what, you mean like artists who make pictures and they sell them online, like the print of it and the download it? And he goes, yeah, you can't sell pictures, you can't sell images, you can't sell music files, he goes, you can't sell PDFs. I'm like, anything out here. He goes, no. I go, no one. He goes, nobody. I go, hold on a second. So I go to Apple's website, and I was like, yeah, they're selling music down here, and that's a digital product, and they're also selling movies, and they're also selling this and that. They're selling this, and that. And he just got really, really quiet. And he wouldn't discuss it at all. He said, well, all I know is that you're not allowed to do that. It's against our rules. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I went to another website and another website. So then what they were trying to do, they were trying to say that I was a dating site where people could meet each other. I'm like, I'm not a dating site. I'm a dating coach. I'm a relationship coach, like Tony Robbins, and I started naming off all these people who do, one-on-one coaching and seminars and stuff. And they're like, no, you have a dating site where men and women can meet each other and exchange phone numbers and blah, blah, blah. And they have I go, on my site? I go, go to my, and I gave my URL. I go to my URL right now. And like, where do you, show this to me? Where is this? Like, where? I don't see it anywhere. Please explain this. And he couldn't, because I have no idea how to do a dating site. That's a really, at least in my opinion, a technological nightmare. So then their next argument months later was like, oh, well, you sell adult products, like not pornographic, but like adult sex toys. And I'm like, no, I don't. They're like, yes, you do. I'm like, no, I don't. Please go onto my website and please show me where you see these images of adult sex toys. And he got really quiet again. He's like, well, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, I don't. What are you talking about? And then I Googled sex toys, and boom. Good Vibrations, which is in Berkeley and San Francisco. I go, they're online, they're on Google, and I pointed all this stuff out to him. I go, all you have to do is, why don't you Google sex toys and watch what pops up on Google. Now this is to a Google employee. I'm like, first of all, I don't sell any of that. Second of all, you do allow it. I go, there's paid ads on here. I'm looking at them right now. So on the one hand, they're telling me the reason why I'm not allowed to advertise is because I'm selling sex toys or adult toys on my website, which I wasn't, never have. And yet at the same time, they're allowing other people to do it. So here's another thing I noticed. That same image I showed you, I use, you put keywords inside the images. If you don't know anything about websites and SEO, you put keywords in there to bring people to your picture on your website so you get more traffic, etc. And I had like dating tips, relationship coach, dating a relationship coach. And what I did was, so someone online on Facebook was saying, hey, like, what's going on? I'm having these problems, blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah, talk about that. Look at this picture. And it wouldn't let it upload. And I was like, holy shit. So then I went in and I took all the words out, and then it would upload. I thought, oh, you got to be kidding. So then I did it again, and I added dating coach, relationship coach, and I uploaded it, and sure enough, it refused to upload. I promise you this isn't just about my website. This has nothing, there's a bigger picture going on here. So the Shopify manager, the upper manager, was the one, she was really the first one who told me. Now this was probably 7 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that when we were talking to Google in this three-way phone conversation and the Facebook, and she also contacted Facebook, and so she was involved in all of this. So she had said, I'm going to be really honest with you, I really believe there's something going on in the world where they don't want dating and relationship coaches to be teaching people how to meet each other. So the one thing I specialize in, and it really is just pure luck because of NLP, as a young man, we didn't, okay, I'm not young now, but when I was, we hear women like our teachers and our parents, our mothers, aunties saying, hey, it's really important to communicate. It's very important to learn how to communicate. You got to get good at communication. And as men, young men and boys, we're just like, yeah, whatever, man. And even as adult men, if you didn't take the courses I took, you'd be like, yeah, whatever. So I made some discoveries. It was because of my training in NLP. One of the things they train you in is to look for patterns. They teach you how to look for patterns and see patterns while you're talking to someone. You can ask questions. Part of it, there's a series of trainings where they teach you different ways to ask different questions to find out what's going on an unconscious level. Now, all of us have been through narcissist abuse, and we've learned a lot about narcissists. Like, what is their number one tool? Divide and conquer. That really is their goal when it comes to everything they do. The discoveries that I made, the teachings that I have in my course, it's the only course on the planet that literally teaches men how to communicate with women in a very, very effective way with absolute clarity. It is literally, I teach men how to open up to the right brain, how to process through the right brain, how to process communication in the way the right brain does it. It's called double pictures. You say A, but you don't mean A. You mean something deeper, more meaningful B. I teach them the internal right brain language, which women speak all the time unconsciously, and they're generally not aware of it. They know that men don't get it, but they don't understand why. So there's also the other course for women, Why Men Just Don't Get It. It breaks it down. It's like why men don't get it. And you're suddenly going, oh, I thought men were jerks. I thought they were just lazy. I thought they didn't care. Like, no, we're wired differently. But the good news is men can learn. So here's my point. If you have really put your heart and soul, or even, it's not even heart and soul, if you've just learned the basics of narcissist abuse, what's it about? It's about interrupting communication. Not only in between you and another person, but they do it in between your left brain and your right brain. They're all, see, that's what gaslighting is for. Gaslighting is to get you so screwed up in your head that you are lost and you look to them for direction on everything. Like, what should I do? What should I wear? How should I dress? It's what should I do for a living? That's how they take over your mind, is by getting you divided within yourself. Now, our governments essentially are ruled by narcissists. Our cities, our governments, most things are ruled by narcissists, and that's what people are waking up to. People online, like, so those are the people that are leaders. I'm like, yeah. So here I come along teaching people internal awareness, and what does that do? That gets you to get rid of the divide. So they divide your mind in between yourself, and I come along and say, oh, well, here's how you fix it. Internal awareness techniques, grounding techniques, emotionally fulfilling emotionally grounding techniques. And then on top of that, I teach you how to effectively communicate with the opposite sex. Now imagine a world where men and women actually understand each other. That's a nightmare for our leaders. They don't want that. Think about it. Women, ladies, you know right now that men suck when it comes to communication. Like, I've got a client I'm working with right now. He can't even say some basic stuff. And I'm like, wait, so what are you trying to say here? Like, I literally can't understand you. But he has no idea that and I'm talking from a man talking to a man. A lot of men just can't communicate, but they don't know. They're like, well, what are you talking about? Like, there's no clarity. Now, let's talk about between men and women communicating. Men fall very short, and that's not even the right phrase. Like, they just can't do it. Now, imagine a world where men develop right brain communication, so now they can go left, right, just like a woman, and be on the same page as her, and speak the same language, the same right brain language, process it in the way the right brain processes. All of a sudden, there's effective communication throughout the world. The clarity would be through the roof. Our development, our advancement would be phenomenal. Not to mention the happiness and the joy and all that good stuff. Okay, so now watch this. One of the things narcissists do is they will go after people who still believe in love, and what they will do is they will date them, they'll love bomb, they'll suck them in, and then they'll rip their heart and soul out. And now they're looking at the opposite sex like, wow, I can't believe this keeps happening. Well, that's just the way men are. Men are just jerks. Men are mean. But then again, there's female narcissists doing this to men, and what's happening is, okay, a lot of you on this channel over the last 5 years, I can't tell you how many times I've heard you guys say, oh, I will never get into a relationship again. I'll never date again. And that was the goal of the narcissistic community, and it worked on you. We are living in a time where most people, I know California is different. It is really bad here. It's for everything, for business. Like, I just talked to a neighbor of mine who doesn't even know about my business. He's like, man, nobody trusts no one. Everyone's out for themselves out here in California. And I'm telling you, it is that bad. It's really bad. People are unbelievably selfish. So number one, the narcissist's goal is to get us as divided as possible. I mean, that's really what's been going on for centuries, for thousands of years. If we can make sure the masses are divided, then they can't talk with each other, they can't understand each other, and they can't put the pieces together. Instead, like, oh, you race number one over here. Oh, you race number two. Oh, you're bad. Oh, you guys are this. Oh, men bad. Oh, women bad. Everyone's been divided. It is worse now than ever. Now, let me show you what's going on. Number one, you've got people on narcissist abuse videos saying, I'll never date again. I'll never be in a relationship. I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's perfect. That's a completed task. You've been divided. And I understand you got hurt really, really bad for a long, long time by multiple people. Like, I completely understand where you're coming from, because here I am, a dating relationship coach, and that's where I was at about 4 or 5 years ago. Enter the Avoidant Videos 2025. The weirdest thing that I am just blown away, it's like literally like the world is upside down. We are living in a freaking time capsule or something. You've got these avoidant people making avoidant videos saying, yeah, when avoidant walks away, just give them their space. And sometimes it could be from 6 days to 6 weeks, up to 6 months, even 2 or 3 years. I'm like, okay, so what I'm supposed to do is just act like it's not happening. And here's the key word, not communicate. And essentially just be okay with them doing that. Give them their space. Like, I get that people need space. But 6 weeks, 6 months, 2 years, that's a little nuts. Everything about avoidant videos is telling us to adjust to them. None of them, I have yet to find a video yet where they say, hey, avoidance, you really need to seek some therapy. They never say that. It's always about, well, here's how you need to understand an avoidant. This is what you need to do when avoidant does that. None of it says, hey, avoidance. And now here's the funny thing, and at the same exact time, they're telling us, like, look, avoidance behaviors are very toxic. In the same video, they'll tell you, like, the way avoidants deal with, getting like this scared, that, they get close and they open up emotionally, they freak out and they run away. And, they need time, they need space. And generally what they're doing is they're playing video games, or they're doing drugs or alcohol, and they're having sex with, people they don't know. And this is how they deal with their issues, and how they deal with this, getting close to someone who actually loves them and cares about them. And what you need to do is you need to understand this and give them their space. It is just a complete wacko-jacko field. It is the stuff that we are being taught out there is absolutely insane. I'm going to kind of cut this one kind of short, but here's the other message that they literally are telling us is the way you get an avoidant back is by avoiding them. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being dead serious. And I'm just like, so the way you get avoidant to come back to you is avoid them. So what you need to do is avoid them, go on with your life, better yourself, do personal development, build your business. And it's like, wait, and here's something. There's something that's really missing in all of this craziness. I'm not going to give it away yet. Here's another thing that I have noticed, it's out there at the stores. It's been spread throughout society. So, okay, how do I say this? So I met someone a while back, so it was about 3 months ago or 4 months ago. Really liked this person. Everything was going great. And then everything just kind of came to a stop. Something actually happened to her. Something really, really bad. It was very, very, very traumatic. It's probably the worst thing that can happen to a woman. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm allowed to use that word on here. She was drugged, and you know what. Now, the responses I got from multiple people, and I'm talking 4 different people in 4 different locations that don't know each other, it just blew my mind. Every one of them says, oh, well, that's too bad. Yeah, you're going to have to move on, Mike. And how did they say this? So she needed her space. She had told me this. She called me up, said, hey, this is how I'm going to deal with it. I need my space, blah, 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 blah. Because her and I really didn't know each other that well. And I can kind of understand. I admit it did hurt that she didn't look to me for help. That really kind of like, wow, okay. And it was painful to deal with, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And I kind of asked some people, like, what should I do? And they were just like, just move on. Like, that just seems kind of cold. So then there was another incident with someone, and it was a friend of mine, someone like really, really relied on, someone that, like, I'd say of all people around, probably like relied the most on this person and had a really good bond with this person. And he let me down, okay? And it happened more than once. And so the advice from this other person was he literally said this, and I'm not joking. He said, just avoid them. So I kind of laughed a little bit there towards the end. I don't know if it came out, but I'm just like, I just grinned when he said, I was like, oh, just avoid him. Like, what? He goes, yeah, just don't talk to him for like a month or more. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, don't talk. And that is what I'm leading up to. We are being told, no, don't communicate. Don't do that. Just avoid them. Now, on top of this, I'm a dating relationship coach, so I watch other dating relationship coaches. Every single one of them that I have watched in the last 6 months or longer is saying, oh, well, just ghost them. That'll make them want you more. Oh, just don't return their calls. Oh, just don't communicate. Don't tell them how you feel. And it's just it's like we went from a society like, hey, you need to be mature enough, and you need to go confront that person and talk to them. If they're your friend, if there's someone you care about, you need to have a conversation and work this out. Now another thing, something happened to me, I think it was yesterday, and I went up to talk to this, there was not a young lady, probably about 30 years old, and I asked her questions like, hey, when is such and such going to be here? And she's just staring at me, and I'm like, can you hear me? And she looks at me, she tilts her head and pulls this big, it's not an Apple earbud, but it was actually bigger than that. It's like bigger, rounder. It was like a speaker, like an earbud. So I'm sure she was listening to music, but she pulls that. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you at all. I can't hear anything with these on. It's all over. Everywhere you go, people. There's a young lady in town where she puts these big headphones around. She walks around like that. And she completely blocks out the world, and I don't blame her, because I actually talked to her and said, man, I've actually thought about doing that, because people are harsh now. There's just no communication. No one's trying to understand anybody anymore. So we've already known for at least 5+ years, maybe even as far back as 10 years, is like, we were telling our teenage kids, like, yo, get off the freaking phone. Okay, I'm going to give you a real good example, but this isn't, like, you might be, well, Michael, no. What's happening right now is way worse. There are videos, and I believe these are purposely being done on purpose. The message that you hear everywhere is avoid them, avoid them, avoid them, avoid them. Don't talk to them, ghost them, just leave them be. So this is just really like it's not just in the avoidant videos, it's everywhere. And yeah, people are on their phone, they've got their earbuds in, they can't even hear you. They go to the coffee shop where people used to talk, and they get on their computer and they put the earbuds in, and they people don't communicate. I remember literally about 11 or 12 years ago, my goddaughter called me up and says, hey, can you take me to the coffee shop? I'm like, why? To Starbucks? She goes, oh, me and a couple of my friends from school, we want to get together and hang out and talk. So I said, all right, I'll bring my computer and I'll sit at another table and I'll work on my book, because this was when I was writing my book, Cracked Female Code. And so I sat down, I started writing, getting into my own world, doing my own thing, getting fired up, and because I had to get fired up to write that book. And it was about maybe half an hour later, I kept looking at them, and I'd look up again and again over a period of time, and I'm like, they weren't talking. So I got up and I walked over to the table. I was like, hey, and they all pulled their earbuds out, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, why aren't you guys talking? And they're like, oh, we are. And I was like, what? Because they weren't. So I went back over there again about 20 minutes later. I was like, is there something wrong? Are you guys upset or something? They're like, no, not at all. And they looked at me like I was the weird one, because nobody was talking. You got to understand, I grew up in the 70s, and I went to middle school and high school in the 80s, and girls, like literally, I remember, I'm not joking, in high school, a buddy of mine goes, hey, Mike, meet me here at 5:45 in the morning tomorrow. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to meet you at school an hour before or 2 hours before class. I go, what is wrong with you? He goes, no. He goes, Mike, a bunch of girls show up and they get in circles and they start talking. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he goes, well, show up at least at like 6:30 or so. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to show up at 6:30. So I ended up showing up at 6:45. And sure enough, there were circles of 10, 12, 15 girls, maybe even 20 in one group, all over the quad. I'm like, what are they doing? He goes, I don't know. So we had this cute little bridge. It's Vintage High School. We have this called Vintage Creek, or Crusher Creek it's called. It's cute little creek, goes over this mini bridge. And we're on this mini cement bridge. It kind of goes up and a little bit down, like a little curve thing. And we're sitting there watching these girls from a little bit of a distance. We're trying to figure out what they're doing. Now, you are not going to believe what they were doing. Now, here's the thing. Like, he and I could, honestly, and I'm not joking, we could not figure out what they were doing. It took me literally over a decade of taking NLP courses and Ericksonian hypnosis and timeline therapy and communication courses to figure out what it was. So at the time, though, here, I think I was a senior, might have been a junior, but I think it was a senior. So I remember I walked up to this group because I was kind of pissed. It was the big group of girls. And I go, "What are you guys doing?" And they all looked at me like, "We're talking." I'm like, "It's not even 7 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing here?" And they're like, "We're talking." And I said, "About what?" They're like, "I don't know, whatever." I'm like, "So what are you doing here?" And they got pissed off. They're like, "We're talking, leave us alone." I was like, so I walked back. He goes, "What did they say?" And I said, "They said they're talking." And he goes, "Weird." So we gave up our mission impossible because it literally was impossible to crack that code. After studying NLP, going to college, studying psychology and the neurology and biochem and biopsychology and all that stuff, I learned that her mating system curves off to the right brain's communication center. And I was like, I wonder if that has something to do with why women like to talk. Turns out women literally just enjoy talking to a... Okay, you got to understand... Okay, ladies on this channel right now, you have got to understand, in a 100 trillion years, a guy would never get up at 4:30 in the morning or even 5 o'clock in the morning to meet their friends at 5:30 or quarter to 6 in the morning or even 6:15 in the morning to meet with his friends to talk. We're going to sleep, and we are going to sleep for as long as we can. No talking is going to get us out of bed. You have to understand, these girls had their hair sprayed. Back in the 80s, the hairspray style, like lots of hair, took a lot of work. They had their makeup on. They had their clothes done right. They did this. They did that. Literally, I asked a girl, I go, "So what time do you get up?" She goes, 4:30 to get ready to meet my friends at school. I don't know if it was 6:15 or 6:30 or whatever it was. So fast forward to the year about 2010 or 2009 or 2011 or something like that. And my goddaughter asked me to take her to the coffee shop to talk to her friends, right? So I did figure out at this point, like, wow, girls really love to talk. And they're not talking. And this was for over an hour. And I was worried, like, hey, and I sat down, okay, are you guys okay? Like, I'm thinking they must have gotten a big argument. They must have gotten a big fight. And they're like, "No, we're talking." I'm thinking, "No, you're not." And I didn't say that because the only person I was really close to there was my goddaughter. So I was like, "Oh, okay, you bunch of weirdos." And I got up and walked over to my table. I was like, "I give up." I actually didn't call them that. I was thinking that in my head. So when it was time to leave, I asked my goddaughter, I'm like, "What was wrong? Like, was somebody upset?" So if I didn't clarify, we actually left. We were in my car driving away. And she was like, "No." She goes, "Why do you keep asking?" I go, "Because nobody was talking." I go, I honestly, Cindy, I've never seen that when girls get together. She goes, "We were talking the whole time." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Michael, we were doing it through our devices, our cell phones or Blackberries or whatever they had, the iPhones and the computers." I'm like, "So who were you talking to?" And she literally said, "Each other." Mind blown. They were sitting right next to each other and not a single one was verbally using their mouth to talk. When she said that, I was blown away. And I will tell you something, as I reflected back a few months, I had noticed that before when nobody was talking. And I just kept thinking it was weird. And that time when I finally spoke up about it, it was because I was like, what is going on here? And after she told me that, I watched them. At other times they've gathered together, whether it was at a friend's house or at the school or at a coffee shop. Like, no one talked to each other. Well, not verbally. They do it through their devices. Now remember, one of the studies that we've done and learned is that words, texting on a cell phone, those are only words. And here's the thing, you don't even get the tonality or the tempo or the rhythm. Words are only 7% of communication. which means you're missing out on 93% of all communication: body language, facial expression, tone, tempo, rhythm, the way you say it. I honestly believe all of this is not an accident. I do believe it's on purpose. Humans have lost the art of communicating. I mean, the average person, they can't communicate with anyone that's outside of their very specific and limited way of communicating. Before, you used to have a broad range. As you grow up, you begin to develop this stuff unconsciously. So when I was going through NLP trainings, learning body language, rapport skills, matching and mirroring, the predicate system, I was like, wait a minute, I was learning this when I was a kid, unconsciously. As I was learning, it's like, oh, that's what I was doing when I was a kid. And Dr. Tad James goes, yes, that's what we all used to do. He goes, we're losing the art of this because of computers. So that, on top of the message of avoid, 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 I just think is disturbing. Humans are, and the funny thing is, I constantly meet people, oh, I'm so lonely. My goddaughter back then would tell me how lonely she was. I'm like, well, maybe you should talk to someone in person. She goes, I talk to my friends all the time. I'm like, no, you don't. You do it through a computer. That's not in person. So the other thing was, during the lockdowns, they literally divided this, said stay at home, don't go out. And then when they finally let us out, like, you had to stand 6 feet apart from each other. Like, everything was about avoiding and separating and no talking. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you got something out of that video. If you like this video, if you like this channel, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And as always, you can go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. Alright, God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.